Hello, friends. How is everybody today? It's officially fall. I don't know if you're as excited as I am about that, but I cannot wait. I love the fall season, and it's like been the prettiest drizzly day outside with the leaves falling. I'm in East Tennessee, so let me know in the comments where you're coming in from. How's the weather? How are you feeling about the fact that summer is over officially? It's officially fall time. So let me know. I am really excited about this stream. As everybody's coming in the comments, let me know. How you're feeling and let me know if you use StreamYard or Restream. Um, and honestly, right now, I'm not really sure what I'm using. I am trying both platforms at different with different clients and then with different streams that I'm even doing, and I haven't landed on which one that I want to use. And it feels uncomfy for me because right now I'm paying for both and streaming with both, and I'm trying to really narrow down which one I like and which one I want to use. Um, but it's been like neck and neck. Like there has been things that I've said. I was just telling Natasha, who's producing for me today behind the scenes. I was just telling her how I have had like these pros and cons lists, but every day they're changing. Like every day I'll get like an email from Restream or from StreamYard with something that I had listed as a con or as a pro that now is like changed. Like they've updated their software, they've added a new feature, that kind of thing. So, as we get going through this list, if you use one of these platforms and you know that they've updated it or they have plans to update it, do not be shy about correcting me or popping in the comments to say like, you know, that you've seen this or seen that, because I even know like with beta testing or whatever, sometimes like some of us will get new features and others won't until like it rolls out. I don't know, do they call that alpha? I'm not sure, like when they roll it out to everybody. So let me know as we're going through how you feel about things, and just I'm all ears. I'm telling you, I'm coming to you with a list of pros and cons that I have, but it's just we're having a conversation about this. We are talking through the different softwares because I'm not sure what the future holds. So let's see. Leslie says, good to see you, by the way. I've been using StreamYard. When I initially chose, I took a survey of several users, and at the time, StreamYard beat Restream. Okay, agreed. Leslie, I would love to know when you took that survey, because I have been with StreamYard since early, like it was like very early pandemic or right before the pandemic hit. And I have loved their software. I have loved their support team. And I've been like a diehard StreamYard person. I even have a LinkedIn learning course all about that. The cool thing that I've learned since coming over to Restream or testing out Restream is that the systems that me and my team have built are working on both tools, which for me was like a huge relief. Like I was so nervous to jump to Restream and like test those systems because I have put my heart and soul into them, that when I came over to Restream and things, all of like my overlays and all of my tips that I give for StreamYard actually transferred, I was like, whew, okay, good. So I was like you, Leslie. I've been using StreamYard early on. I did like a pros and cons list for my client Kim at the time. We were deciding which platform we wanted to use to stream to LinkedIn. I came up with like, I think StreamYard is the way to be. And then about like 2 years ago, Restream came out with a feature where you can stream to your guest destination. So hang with me on this because sometimes this is confusing. But when I'm streaming and I say I have Natasha on screen with me, we can hit go live and it will go on her LinkedIn channel and my LinkedIn channel at the same time. So her entire audience would be able to see and join, and then my entire audience would be able to see and join. And it would almost live as if it's like its own post for Natasha. So that's what it means to stream to like the guest destination. And when Restream came out with that feature a couple years ago, I jumped ship. I was like, I'm going over to Restream. Like, this will reach so many more people if we stream simultaneously. And we started streaming with Restream, and I went to cancel my plan with StreamYard, and the support team won me over because I was like, "Hey, we're canceling." We had just I think I had just been an annual, payment, and I was like, "Can we have that money back? Like, we're gonna cancel." They were so kind, so sweet. They were like, "Here's your money back. If you don't mind sharing, like, what caused you to switch?" And I was like, "Oh, the streaming to guest destinations thing changed the game for me." And they were like, "Okay, that's fine, but just hold on if you can because it's coming to StreamYard." And sure enough, within 2 months, they had that same feature. So it's like they do this thing. Restream and StreamYard do this thing. So I'm just gonna talk through where we're at with that and why I, Shelby, am feeling like I might explore Restream. And the biggest reason is because StreamYard just went through an acquisition with, I think it's HubSpot is the like big company that bought them out. And StreamYard's founder, Gage is his name. I saw a LinkedIn post from him about the acquisition, and it made me kind of feel like, what is going on here? Um, and I kind of went down a rabbit hole. I went down a legal rabbit hole that I won't get into too much, but I started to feel a little wary about the what is going on with StreamYard, the legal, political, whatever. And so I started to look at the Facebook page. StreamYard has a really active Facebook page with users, and I was seeing some concerns from users. And I was seeing just like a lot of people were kind of upset. And I was like, okay, like I think it's time that I'm not putting all my eggs in my StreamYard basket. Let's try Restream again. And I came to Restream. So for now, I'm not saying I'm here forever. This is the platform I'm using today, and I'm going to talk you through it. But I'm not going to lie, I put off scheduling the stream because I didn't know which tool I wanted to use to talk about this. So let me see. Leslie says my mini survey was about 2 years ago. Plus, I knew you used StreamYard. See? But Leslie, I will say we have happy news. It is not too much of a learning curve if you decide to go to Restream. I love them both still. Paula, this is the big one that I'm getting into. Big StreamYard price changing coming up. Not sure it's worth it. Okay, let's just dive into that because I was going to leave that for later. But if y'all are here and ready to talk about pricing, this is the biggest reason that I am struggling to stay Team StreamYard because I have for so long been a advocate for StreamYard because it is the easiest way to produce content. It's the easiest, most cost-effective way I feel like to produce content is live streaming. And I've been singing that tune for years and years and years. And then StreamYard came out with their pricing increase, and I was like, ooh, maybe this won't be true anymore if they're going to charge what they're charging. So first and foremost, we will look at StreamYard pricing, actually. So StreamYard sent out an email, and I've yet to find it. Paula, I would love to know if you have found it like physically for reals on their website, because I have not been able to find this on their website. I'm sharing an email with y'all, which I don't know if that's an okay thing to do, but that's what we're going to do. So they have moved their core pricing, which used to be, I want to say it was $19 a month. Paula, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's now $44.99 for a monthly plan on the basic level where you're not having StreamYard logos, and you're able to do all the fancy fun overlays that I talk about in my course, that is now going to be almost $45 a month. And if you are a small business owner like I am, that feels a little steep for software. And like I hate to say that, but it feels like a lot. And so that's my biggest problem with StreamYard right now is the pricing increase. Again, there's advanced and teams, which just go up from there. And there's a lot of good things about StreamYard that I'm going to go into in just a minute. But the price increase was the biggest, like, wow, like what is going on? Restream, here's those prices just for y'all to be able to see kind of what we're working with here. Right now, I am on the $19 a month plan. So you can see that I don't have the Restream watermark. You can see that I'm able to do the fun backgrounds and the overlays. I'm able to do scenes, things like that. Um, the biggest con about the standard plan with Restream for me right now is that there's only 5 files that can be stored. So on StreamYard, it used to be that on the $19 a month plan, you got 50 hours of stream and now like storage. And now with Restream, it's 5. So for me personally, I already download my streams and add them to Dropbox so that I have a place that they're like saved. I don't leave them in StreamYard, but I know some people who do. And I could see that being kind of a con for that one thing. So let's see. Paula says, nope, just an email, 45 to 89 in April, I believe, to keep the logo off your lives, which for me is like the biggest reason that I love streaming this way is that it can look professional while you're creating content and you got like the fun things and there's not the StreamYard duck. So that's a huge bummer. So I'm glad we kind of just got that one out of the way because that has been my hardest thing that has switched me a little bit from am I going to stay with StreamYard? Am I going to keep recommending StreamYard to people? I don't know, is the truth. I love a lot about StreamYard. I'll get into that in just a second. But I will say for me, in this social media tech world, I love knowing the people behind the scenes. And StreamYard did such a good job of having a weekly stream where we could join and ask questions with the founders. And they were always like answering questions live and just super involved. And I have felt such a shift um, since that kind of has happened. So yeah, and when I posted this using Restream, I had 2 Restream employees comment on it, which for me is always like, oh, like they're paying attention, they're seeing who's using their platform. I don't know if it's swaying me a little bit. So, okay, I'm gonna get into the pros and cons. Let me know which one you want me to go with first. Since Paula and Leslie are here, I'm gonna start with Restream so y'all can know the other platform. But let me know in the comments if you want me to go through the other way for y'all. But okay, so with Restream, some really cool things that I'm excited about in this software is that there's a notes section. So right now I have my notes pulled up, my literal pros and cons list for Restream and StreamYard. They are in Restream. Man, lots of words. Okay, they are in Restream and I just have to toggle over that to them. The other really cool thing is Natasha, my producer, can also see them. Okay, but a con for Restream on that. So me and Natasha are able to see the notes. Right now, I am not able to see Natasha's cute face, which for me, I love in StreamYard that I can see my producer's face and I can know, like, are we doing good? Do I need to change something? Maybe she's like, wait a second. I love to see her while I'm streaming. And I could be wrong, but I can't see her while I'm streaming in Restream. I haven't figured that out yet. So that's my con for like producing wise. That being said, if you produce by yourself, this would be an awesome feature to have, just like the notes here, okay? The other really cool thing I wanna show y'all is we can do an overlay, oh, here we go, of the chat right here, which I think is really fun. Yes, I agree. Paul is saying notes would be really good. It's huge. It's a game changer. And I love having like this up so y'all can see like, who's commenting. If I had people coming in from YouTube or another platform, you would also see that here so that everybody could kind of be a part of the conversation. Whereas on StreamYard, we don't have this feature. You just kind of talk to other people and you can't really show the whole like what people are saying on other channels. So I really love this. I think this is really fun. I, Shelby, don't have like that many followers who come in and comment live, but I have a lot of clients who do, and I think this would be a really fun way to keep the entire audience engaged while we're like having conversation. So very excited about that feature. I think that's super cool. Another way to connect with your audience. The other really cool thing is they have QR codes. Like in the platform, they have QR codes. So you can see it right here. Let's see if I can add one. I think we can do like a different one. So hang with me real quick. I'm doing this live, so sorry. But we can do like one. So this is the one in the corner like this. And then you can do one like this. So I just put website. That's me. But if I wanted to put like, say you're selling something or you have a new product launch or something like that, you could put it right here, which is super cool. And then they also have this one, which I guess just has the pricing on it. So that's their like demo one. So that's obviously not me, Shelby, anything. So, and then like kind of fun, like I know buy me a coffee is a very popular thing for creators to use to kind of make a couple bucks if they feel like, they, want to promote that sort of thing. It's right here. So it's like way easier for you to kind of sell and ask for money. I was going to say that tactfully. I didn't know how to say it tactfully. So, but I think that's really cool. Let's see. Leslie says, yes, I have a friend who always used Restream and the comments on the screen have always been attractive to me. Yeah. Super cool. Super cool. So I love that they have that QR thing built in. Whereas with StreamYard, I have like a workaround for that is I create my Canva overlays with QR codes. So I just download with like a transparent background and I have a QR code. So there's a workaround. That's not like a make or break it one if it was me. There's a built-in speed test in Restream, which I love because when I am producing for other people, I always send an email the day of saying like, hey, will you please test your speed? Nobody ever does. And a lot of times it's totally okay. But sometimes I wish that there had been a feature in the actual platform where it was like, okay, just click this thing and it will, test your speed so we can see if it's your internet or if it's the software that's kind of failing. So I think that's really cool. On my list, I have vertical option, meaning you can stream vertically to Instagram, TikTok, but StreamYard came out with that feature. So that one is both on both pros at this point. The other thing is they have scenes, which I am not an eCam person. If you've heard of eCam, it's another tool. I guess it can connect to Restream. That might be one of my future things is going through eCam because I have seen behind the scenes. One of my friends, Sally, showed me behind the scenes and how she loves it and she can set up scenes and all this stuff. And that tool apparently works with Restream, but it also can be its own third-party streaming to LinkedIn kind of thing. So that was just like another, if you're an eCam person, Restream works with that. The other cool pro is they have a lot of analytics. I'm not sure. I haven't seen yet if this feature works well for LinkedIn. Last month, I streamed with Restream for the first time, and I couldn't see any comments coming through the entire time that I was live. So today, like I'm able to see Paula and Leslie in the comments, totally fine. Natasha, everybody I can see. which is great. But last week I couldn't, or last month I couldn't. And that was when I was like, okay, maybe I'm not switching. Like, I'm not sure I can do it. But today they're working fine. So I'm glad I gave it another go. So that was one of my huge, like, this is not okay restream things. Okay, another weird kind of, we're going into the cons now. So those were my pros for Restream. We're going into the cons. My weird one that's like not that important but bothers me a little bit is when you when you schedule the live on Restream. So every time, I've done it a couple times, every time that I like schedule it, the title of the stream comes up before the caption, which I like to draft my posts like very specifically. And so for it to have like my title, it throws off like my cute post. So I don't love that because I have to post it and then I go into LinkedIn and YouTube and I delete the beginning, like comparing Restream and StreamYard. I had to delete that from like my post. So, hey, Paul, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Okay, Paula is asking, can you share videos and slide decks as easily in Restream as StreamYard? This is a good question, Paula. I am still figuring this out because I guess it depends what your definition is of easy. So as you know, in StreamYard, it shows up in the bottom and you just add it into the screen. Um, and for me, that's very easy. In Restream, there's very like a different ways that you can add it. So for example, we have it like this, or we have like a different scene where it looks like this, but my deck is actually like on the side of the stream. This might be very confusing. I could even share my screen. It's on the side versus like underneath. So I'm totally willing to share the inside of Restream if y'all want me to. Just let me know. I just don't like, that'll be kind of like meta, I guess, to have like me streaming sharing it, but I'm totally fine to show you like what that looks like too. So yeah, I would say it's a little bit more difficult, but I think that that's me not totally understanding how scenes work in Restream. So okay, another con that I had about this is you can't, in StreamYard, you can like create folders and then you can have like, so for example, because we produce multiple shows, if there's like, I'm going to use Coffee with Kim as an example. Coffee with Kim is a show I produce that goes live every single week. So my team, my awesome, awesome team, creates different folders that say like 10/2, October 2nd, 10/9. I don't know what the next Wednesday is. You know what I'm saying. They have different folders with the assets. So the overlays, like this thing, the banners, let me show you. Banners would be like on the bottom. I don't even know if okay. Yeah. So like something, this was from my last stream that I did here. Something like this, banners. But in Restream, they don't have the option to create folders for those. So instead of me having like a specific, okay, this is 10/2s, banners, overlays, things, I would have all of them. Not a huge deal, but I like the organization that StreamYard allows that way. So that's another a con that I had. One of my cons they actually fixed like 2 weeks ago was like that you couldn't set up a studio and just have it like always have the overlays in it, always have the tickers in it. You had to like set it up for every single one. So like with StreamYard, it's like I had all my assets in there for the month of October. And with Restream, I would have to set up October 2nd, October 9th. But they just changed this like a couple weeks ago where they have what's called Restream drafts. So I think that solves that problem. I haven't been able to play with it yet, but I think that solves that problem where we would have everything in one place. See, Paula, I'm the same way. Love the folders in StreamYard. Gabe, good to see you. Thank you for the shout out in your newsletter this morning. That was so sweet. The only thing the only thing about both I dislike is creating event posts and having limited characters to use when I write my posts. Yes, that's always really hard when you have to make it sound engaging to post to LinkedIn. Because if y'all are unfamiliar, when you create a stream on Restream or StreamYard, you're doing it in the software, in Restream or StreamYard, and then it is posting to LinkedIn. So it's not like you create something in LinkedIn and connect it. You actually create it in one of these softwares and it will automatically post. And I believe both have the character count, like Gabe was saying. So another thing is the repurposing. This is a big one. My team will be staying with StreamYard for now because of this. The repurposing in StreamYard is much easier than the repurposing in Restream. Although I keep seeing things that are saying like that's one of their features that they're really working on right now in Restream. So I'm not giving up hope. But I love StreamYard for this purpose. They provide a 1 minute, like, okay, so when you edit a video, they have like the bar that you can like make the video shorter, make the video longer. StreamYard automatically has a 1 minute little bar, which is amazing because it needs to be 1 minute for YouTube Shorts and it needs to be 1 minute for Instagram and TikTok. And now with LinkedIn's new video tab, it has to be under 2 minutes. So that 1 minute thing is very nice for my team and I to be able to know exactly how long it is and just kind of like move that. So that is one of my big cons for Restream, and why I'm not jumping completely yet is because that repurposing feature is huge. StreamYard also provides an entire transcript of the episode in the repurposing section. So again, that's huge for me when I'm doing show notes, when I am like just looking for a specific clip. I used to have to upload it to like Otter or some sort of transcripting company software. Now they have a whole transcript and like very nice repurposing bar. I'm sure there's like a cool editing word for that I just don't know. So, okay, we already talked about the storage in Restream, not very big, and we all already talked about how we can't see people behind the scenes. So I'm going to take a peek at the comments real quick. Let's see. Leslie's saying, I have finally gotten used to StreamYard versus stumbling through a lot during the show. Yes, I know. So I will need to compare these pros and cons to see if I want to switch to Restream. Okay, Leslie, this is my one thing. This is my second show where Shelby is producing. I have a producer behind the scenes, but I am kind of the one running it right now. And I will say I feel like once you learn how to produce a live show, you're not having like a lot of those are transferring. It's not like I'm having to learn the software the same way I had to learn StreamYard. So I would say don't let this be a super big deterrent for you because it has worked well for me and I believe like would work well for you too. Switching to Restream, a lot of it would be intuitive because it's very similar to StreamYard. Let's see what Gabe is saying. If you like both StreamYard and Restream, have used both frequently, I would say StreamYard is more user-friendly, but Restream has more advanced features. 100% Gabe, thank you for saying that because the conclusion of my story, I won't go through the StreamYard. We kind of ended up talking about them as we went through the Restream pros and cons. StreamYard, I think, is more user-friendly and has the like team is kind of able to collaborate a little bit more user-friendly. So here's my like synopsis of my entire pros and cons list. I would say that StreamYard is really user-friendly and is like really good at repurposing content. So if that's like what's important to you, repurposing and maybe you're a solo, I would say that would make sense. Restream, however, with the pricing difference, I would say if budget is a problem or a concern, that I would go with Restream and that the features in Restream are actually much more advanced than the ones in StreamYard. They just might be a little bit more, like the learning curve might be a little bit more. So if you're coming from absolutely no streaming experience, StreamYard. If you are coming from some streaming experience, maybe you've used StreamYard and you're worried about budget, I would say switch to Restream. I think it has everything that you probably liked in StreamYard and more. And I'm really hopeful that they will have the like repurposing features that I love in StreamYard. So I'm like gonna probably be with both for a while. I think I'm gonna try to have both for a little minute and see which one works for me and my team, because I think StreamYard Teams is very easy as well. It's easy to add producers. It's easy to like have like my team has access to past streams that they can repurpose very easily. Wonderful for that. Um, so I don't know. That's my big pros and cons list. We're at 30 minutes. If y'all have any questions, okay, let's see. Paula's saying, could you give an example of an advanced feature or two? Okay, Paula, I'm gonna do a scene. That's what it says. That's what it's called. So there's different scenes that I've created on the left-hand side of my stream right now. There's a welcome scene, a countdown scene, and then like a Shelby on screen scene. And I'm going to show you what that looks like, the countdown one that I created. I didn't use it, but I created it. And you can kind of see this is in Restream. So that is like part of the stream over there. If I wanted to set up different scenes, which I have, but I'm not sure how to use them because it's kind of one of those advanced features that I'm used to just having uh, one stream with the overlays that I'm adding on and off in StreamYard. Here in Restream, you can set them up beforehand. Okay. Um, Okay, so Paul is saying, not sure what you're using right now, but I'm seeing lagging. Your voice and sound isn't connected. So is Leslie. So obviously, that's not great. That's not great. This is Restream that I'm currently on. Thank you for that feedback. And thank you for putting that in there, because that's been one of my issues with Restream is I didn't love how it connected with LinkedIn. And that for me is where my most of my audience hangs out on LinkedIn. So it has to be seamless with LinkedIn, which is why I'm not jumping ship yet from StreamYard. So thank you. Thank you. That is very helpful to know. I'm going to go back and watch the stream and see where that happened and if there was anything on my end that maybe I did differently that caused that. So, okay, friends, I am going to hop off, but please let me know if you have more questions. And honestly, we could do a free live stream consultation where I show you the inside of both of them. Because right now, most of my work has been done with StreamYard, but I'm very happy to say that all of the overlays, all of the systems, and like the things that I figured out about StreamYard are applying to Restream. So I didn't want to look into Restream out of fear that like my systems wouldn't transfer well, but I got brave and I did it, and I'm so happy to say that it has transferred well. Let's see, Paulo, last question saying, are sequences the same as having the overlay and video hot button in StreamYard? Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by hot button. Maybe you know something I don't know. Is that like when you hit like, for example, on StreamYard, another cool feature, you can hit B and it marks something. I'm imagining there's probably a hot button to add an overlay. And if that's the case, oh, you and I need to talk, Paula, because that sounds amazing. But yeah, maybe you and I can talk and I can kind of show you what I mean by the scenes here in Restream. But thank you for being here. Thank you for asking questions. I hope that this was helpful. It's just a lot of information, and I have the list. So if you want me to email you the list of my pros and cons so you can kind of see it all like in one space, I'm more than willing to send it to you. Send me a LinkedIn message and I will send you the pros and cons list so you can see it. I think either tool that you use will be great. Streaming is one of the best ways to connect with your audiences because you're having like a conversation in real time. And for me, it's the best way to keep myself consistent. We had a wild morning this morning, and I'm telling you, if I did not have this scheduled, I would not be showing up today. There was like everything that could go wrong went wrong this morning. And I was just grateful that, hey, I have a live stream scheduled. I have to stay consistent. And so, streaming still, whatever tool you're using, I think is a great option. There's ways to make it easy. You're not going to choose wrong. Like one or the other is great. And yeah, like I don't know. Happy streaming. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And let me know if there is anything I can do to help you in the future. Bye.